Yeah, welcome back. And now let's talk about another concept that we call the quality world. It's a continuation of our 21st century skills learning. How can we enable our young people to actually, how can we keep them relevant in today's world? What is the quality world? What is quality? We all know the word quality. So we go to the market, we want to buy products, whether these are fruits, whether these are consumables, whether these are fruits. So let's say home utilities and so on and so forth. We are always looking for quality. Quality in terms of authenticity, quality in terms of longevity, and many other forms of quality. We are always looking for value for money. And if we perceive that this good is of high quality as compared to the other one, we'll go for the good which is high quality as compared to the other one of lesser quality. That's why we have to consider the word quality. But in education, we usually don't probably consider things the same way. But now I'm welcoming you to consider with me that there is something called the quality world. So, what is a quality world? And each one of us have their own perception of the quality world for them. So a quality world is made up of people, places, things, activities, ideas, and belief systems that we perceive as need fulfilling to us. It's about us, regardless of what other people think of those belief systems, ideas, activities, and things. So our students in particular, they have their own perception. They have their own ideas of what a quality world look like to them. We're struggling a lot sometimes in our education system to get our students to be engaged, to really take the time, to devote their efforts to learn well because of the lack on our part of connecting to them what we want them to learn with their perception of their quality world. So this is another very important thing that we have to do as teachers. How can we have to understand the quality world of our students. That's the first thing. Not imposing our own perception of quality world to them. We have to understand them and understand their quality world so that we model, we formulate, we shape our training and teaching to fit their perception of the quality world. So, what is the quality world? Again, so the quality world, the pictures in our quality world, the activities in our quality world, the ideas in our quality world usually relates to our past experiences or future ambitions or aims that we have. We look at our idealized selves, okay? What we want to become. For students, for example, what do they become? What do they idolize? Who are their role models? What do they want to become in the future? What are their ambitions? These are very, very important. And if we understand this, then we can see, okay, how can we actually put these quality worlds of theirs, how can we fit them with our current learning methodology and processes? If we understand the quality world of our students, if we understand what matters to them, if we understand what is important for them, if we understand what they consider quality in their lives, then again, we can model our education to meet that quality. And if we manage to achieve that, this will bring us closer and closer and closer to our students. And it will make the learning process very smooth. So we have to take into account the quality world of our students. The quality world also directs our efforts to fulfill our vision of our basic needs. Because no matter how you might coerce me to do something, if I don't perceive it as something very important for me, if I don't perceive it as something that I really need, if I don't perceive it as something that is extremely important, I might, yeah, try to do it, but I will not devote that much attention to it. You see, so we can behave as a gazelle, a chameleon, you know, a lion, or a butterfly, depending on the circumstance that we are actually into. Like, for example, a gazelle, when they are running and chased by a lion, they are running to survive. So they put all their effort because they need to survive. Now, if you consider this in terms of our students, we were also students before. Me and you, we were students before. And let's ask ourselves as trainers and teachers, what didn't we like? What we didn't like? Let's consider and recall what we didn't like when we were students, in terms especially of how our trainers and teachers were interacting with us. What did we dislike during those past years? For me in particular, if you ask me, I hated it when I was punished through sticks. I hated it when I was forced to do things. I hated it when I would sometimes be bullied. I hated it when a teacher will present something about me as a bad example to others. I hated it when I felt that I was not in control. I hated it when I was not allowed to be part of the learning in terms of mindset, in terms of me contributing, in terms of bringing my opinions, my viewpoints in whatever it is that I was learning. I didn't like that. Each one of us can think and recall what they didn't like when they were students. And collectively, we can brainstorm and actually realize, oh, if we didn't like this, how and why in the world would our students like if we are doing the same things, or if we are creating the same environment that brought discomfort to us when we were students? So that means we have to change. As we all know that students will do things for the teachers they love or like or care about, that they won't do for the teachers that they don't care for. So how can we create that environment whereby our students care about us, care about even our feelings? But to do that, we have to care about them first, and not just caring that, okay, I'm a teacher, so I automatically care, but make a deliberate effort, a consistent effort that actually shows them that we really care for them. That means the way we deal with them on daily basis. Do we actually interact with them? Do we understand their challenges? Do we understand the pains that they have, whether in their families? Do we understand what they are going through? Do we actually try to find means to alleviate their pains? If we can create that kind of environment, it will show them really that we do care. And if that is there, they will also care about us. And that already in itself will set a stage for engagement going forward. So, a big question and a good question here might be like, how do I start? Where do I start? And I take an example of myself again. How did I do it, or how do I do it even now? Usually, I lay back, I pause, and I start thinking about these students of ours. What if this student is my child? What if this student is a child of my sibling, or my uncle, or my nephew? What if student is actually my sibling? What if this student is a child or a close relative of my very close associate and friend? How would I treat them? Would I coerce them? Would I force them? Would I beat them unnecessarily? No. I will always find a better way to deal with all those groups that I've mentioned because they are important to me. Let's start there. Let's start dealing with our students as if They are our own kids, they are siblings' kids, they are very people who are close to us because they are. They are. As a teacher, I'm always proud when I go outside there and find my students successful. If your student is successful, and let's say even if you interact with them or you need some sort of support or service in the community, you know automatically if you go to that student, the way he will treat you. He will treat you not like just, no, he will want to give you just a normal treatment. If that connection is there. And that is another motive, but that shouldn't be our primary motive. Our primary motive is us as human beings. How do we want to be treated? How do we want our kids to be treated? How would we want our relatives to be treated? And let's take that into account in the way we deal with our students. If we start with that perspective, then it will shift our mindset and it will shift our way of dealing with our students, and it will start creating that nourishing environment, that uplifting environment whereby our students we are not like bosses and then they are servants, but we become like peers. We become as co-learners in this learning process, and that creates a very interesting environment where learning can happen, success can happen. Success is actually formulated in that kind of environment. So I know it's not easy, it's tough, but it's worth it. I know we are teachers because we love who we are, we love what we do. That's why we do this job. Even under in countries like mine in Tanzania, where teachers are actually working under difficult circumstances, the pay is that low and so on and so forth. But you constantly continue to devote your efforts because you want to see these young people flourishing. I know you have that deep inside your heart and your soul. And it's by taking small steps. We have to start small. It won't happen overnight, but we have to to put in the work and put in consistent and deliberate effort to want to see improvements in our young people, because this is our future. This is our future, and we cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. Let's take baby steps forward. Let's start small. Let's start today. Let's get to work. Thank you very much for listening, and I believe we are going to make it.